Welcome to my channel. I'm Emily and I'm showing you all of my seedlings as of the last week of March 2023. This year, my gardening goals are keep it really easy for myself. I am not going to try to preserve as much this year for health reasons. So I'm really just going to enjoy a lot of fresh eating this summer, and that has changed how I start seeds. So I'm going to show you what's in the basement, in my grow area, and I'm going to show you what is outside ready to be transplanted and a bunch of seeds that I just started. I actually do have a lot of seedlings at the moment, so I'm going to be transplanting some today, and I wanted to go ahead and video this now so we didn't miss that chance to talk about it. I'm here in the basement. You might hear my cats running around. They're hungry. It's almost their dinner time. But I want to show you my seedlings that I have inside still here at the end of March. It's the last week of March. I've actually started hardening off all of these seedlings, and the cats are really running around. So these are on day 2 of hardening off, and they're looking great. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what is growing on down here. So in this first tray, I'm using now Bootstrap Farmer bottoms trays, which I've had for a few years, but for Christmas I received Bootstrap Farmer cups. So I have some sturdy cups that I'm up potting into. And what I have going on, lots of Genovese and sweet basil, and they smell so good. Then I have a few peppers. They're a little yellow, I'm noticing today, and I don't know if that's time to fertilize because I just up potted these like a week ago, or if maybe the sun was a little too harsh for them. But I have mostly sweet peppers this year. I have a lot of the Lesia peppers. I do have some banana peppers in this mix as well, sweet banana peppers. And then half of this tray is Gomphrena, Strawberry Fields Gomphrena, which is a strawberry red clover-like flower. It doesn't act like clover, but the flowers look like clover. I grew this last year and it makes some adorable dried flowers, and I think it'd be fun to do crafts with next winter. Sliding down, lots more basil because I'm out of pesto, so I really want a big batch of pesto made. And then tomatoes. So here at the end of March, usually I have like tomato trees, but this year I waited to start them, and I'm a little bit nervous, but they really went from like no mature leaves to everyone has some mature leaves overnight. So I think in a week or two when I'm ready to plant these out, it's going to look more like 2 weeks. They're going to look like little plants, not as much like seedlings. So you're seeing Sun Gold. Here are the Bella Rosa determinate tomatoes that I'm trying this year. They're just red, medium-sized fruits, if I remember correctly. I've got my Super Sweet 100 cherry tomatoes. And I recently told my sister that I'm going to be bringing her some when I visit her town in a couple weeks. I have some dahlias grown from seed. They're big. I may try topping them, but they're not big enough yet that I want to top them before going out. More sweet basil or Italian basil. Here's something fun. This is some sesame, black sesame. Seeds are from In My Gardener. So if you've wondered what sesame seeds look like, there they are. And then back here we have a couple sweetie cherry tomatoes. I haven't grown that in a couple years. They are large red cherries. They're large. I mean, I'd almost call them a grape tomato. And then this little guy is my celebrity. I planted 2 seeds, brand new seeds, and only got 1 germinated so far. We'll see. The other one may pop back up. Moving down, show you the rest of what I have. This on the left is just the remaining tray from my 72 cells. I've up potted everything, but tragically, my bell peppers this year are taking forever. Actually, I had this one pop up. It's not the most happy looking seedling, and then today I broke that leaf because I was digging around a little bit, so I may have ruined that one. But also this California Wonder Bell just popped up. They are super behind. I planted these seeds in the second half of February. So it's been well over a month and should be just now getting germination. It's not what I expected. I have a couple other gomphrena that I need to up pot, and then a few more peppers. The banana peppers germinated great. Lesia germinated great. And then I have some spicy globe basil, which is really a cute shaped basil. And I didn't use it the last year that I grew it. I just like ignored it. But it was so pretty and decorative. It actually does smell very good, so I think I will cook with it this year. So the only other thing down here that I want to show you is my second round of beets. I like to do this method where you start them inside, multi-sown, this is one beet seed, but it pops up 3 plants. That's how that works. So I put like 3 or 4 seeds in each container, and they're germinating. They're probably halfway done germinating. Some of them, they've all germinated. Others, just now getting its second one. They're just a little slower. I'm not worried about it, but what I'll do is wait for them to have some true leaves, and then I'll transplant them out into the garden. I'll actually show you my first round of beets, which took to their transplant really well. Here I have my beets, my first round of beets. So you can see that I transplanted the whole cluster. So like here, zoom you in, there are 2 beets. I just kept them together. Same thing with all the other varieties. And how I did it last spring was, as the beets grew, I just harvested the ones that were big, and I left the other one in place, and then a few weeks later the other one was ready. So I have a few different kinds. Here, this first row, some robin. They're a hybrid. They're like a baby beet hybrid kind. Then I have Detroit dark red, and then over here avalanche, which is a new one for me. And then toward the back I have some touchstone gold and some Detroit dark red. And if you're wondering, those are some green onions right there. All right, here are my outdoor seedlings. This tray and that tray I just planted less than a week ago. And I'll show you, so far I have some zinnias germinating. I have them labeled on a diagram inside, so I know what they are on the paper. I just need to go look and see. But I've got, just today, all of these have popped up. And I'm hoping that for all of these seeds, I can just germinate them outside and keep them outside and not have to harden them off if I do that. Because I actually think it'll be warm enough. I may bring these in tonight and tomorrow night, because it is going to get down to 39. But after that, we'll be in the 70s, 80s during the daytime, and we'll be in the 50s and upper 40s at nights, just as far as I can see. So I might just have 2 more nights of babysitting. But besides zinnias, I have sunflowers, marigolds. I was thinking about planting cosmos. I might still do that. I have lots of nasturtiums. And then over here, I have a second round of California Wonder Bell peppers that have not germinated yet. But, I started them, it's probably been 2 weeks, so I do expect them to germinate anytime now. I've got my cucamelons set up, nasturtiums, just tons of nasturtiums. Oh, and I have my cucumbers and my melons over here too. So nasturtiums, I think, are mainly these smaller ones. I have, be it alpha cucumbers, I have silver slicer, I have 3 types of watermelon and 3 types of melon. I brought my last tray inside because I really want to film this video, but my neighbor came out and I don't really want her judging me for talking to my phone. I'm sure she has no idea what I'm doing. So I have this tray of cold hardy plants ready to be transplanted, and I hope to do that actually right after this. I have lots of parsley, although I'm going to give some to my sister. I'm kind of forcing it on her, but she says she needs parsley, so I've got parsley seedlings. And then I've got my straw flowers. They germinated over a period of like 3 weeks. So some of them are large because they germinated first, and then these littler ones popped up. It could have been 2 weeks later. So once they're about this size, I will probably transplant these too. I will go ahead and put them out in the garden. This one and this one, I might wait to transplant because I would hate for something to just eat them up. But for my straw flowers, I have a white, vintage white one, I have a copper, and I have a silvery rose. And then I have some herbs. This little guy, lemon balm. I don't really need him because actually my lemon bulb went to seed and has re-sprouted in a bunch of pots. I was a little surprised by that because I didn't see seeds. I saw flowers and I was picking the flowers, but it managed to go to seed on me. So I've got plenty of lemon balm in my pots. I have sorrel, red vein sorrel. I have some Swiss chard. Lots of yellow. It's like a multicolor Swiss chard pack, and all of them ended up being yellow. So that's fine. I need to get this planted. And then I have one other thing, my mint. My mint plants are looking a little bit sick. They're not bouncing back like the other herbs are. So I'm glad I started a couple more mints. This is just common mint. Overall, the dill, only other thing. So I need to get all this in the garden because you heard those temps I was talking about. It's going to be pretty warm, and it's definitely time to plant these. They're all hardened off, and it really just a matter of who's big enough to survive. Thanks for watching my synopsis of my seed starting. March really flew by, and now I'm excited about direct sowing things in my garden. If you haven't watched my channel before, please consider subscribing, especially if you grow here in the southeastern US, because we have a lot in common. I'm in zone 7B in Georgia, so if you think that's really helpful for you, or you're just interested in it, give this video a like, definitely subscribe, and stay tuned to see how the garden progresses, because April is the month where everything happens.